Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.
Tēnā koutou, tēnei te tuake ki te tāpiri aku mihi ki era I whakatau I a koutou. I raro I te korowai o te nākau nui, mō tēnei tutukitanga nō reira, Whanganui iwi tēnei te mihi atu ki a koutou katoa. Mr Speaker, I have listened carefully to the contributions today, and in fact, since this particular bill was introduced into the House, and it got me reflecting on a number of things. And I thought, well, as I'm not from the area, I had to go back to when did my relationship begin with the Whanganui River, and how did it enrich the way in which I thought about my own river. And I went back, some 18 years, and my first opportunity to experience Te Awa Whanganui. And successive visits since then really started to embed within me, when you hear the saying, ko te awa, ko au te awa, the sense in which people have a relationship to its river as an entity, but more than that, as an ancestor, and more than that, as a being that infuses an essence and a perspective in the way that you look at things. In this term, there have been 2 settlements that have been innovative for its approach to understanding how we might think about our relationship to each other and to the environment, our care of duty, of stewardship, of kaitiakitanga towards nature. And those 2 settlements are Te Urewera and this one, Te Awa Tupua. Why? Because to a large degree, infused within the components of the settlement, they take 2 very simple notions, rākau in the Urewera settlement and wai in this settlement, and urge a different conversation towards the way in which we think about our custodial care for our environment. And that's really exciting for settlements yet to come. I would hope that a number of iwi who are yet to settle take on board the approach and the type of conversation, the new conversation space that is being created by these 2 settlements. It's exciting, it's an opportunity. It urges people into a different space of responsibility vis-a-vis rights, and it urges people to take a longer view towards what is it going to take to ensure our custodial care and obligation as kaitiaki will ultimately benefit our taiao, and yes, our people, but our taiao, so that future generations can reap the rewards of that. With that said, I thought about the certain aspects of the settlement, and I actually, Mr Speaker, used the opportunity as a member of the Māori Affairs Select Committee again to comment on the innovation of treaty settlements at a water symposium. And I commented on, alongside our own Waikato River settlement, this one as well in particular, as a model for the future. Why? Because Te Pau Tupua, a relationship between the Crown and Whanganui iwi, to have custodial care for the river like a baby, to have a conversation about its well-being like you would a child, to think about the external environment within which that child is being raised, the broader community, to think about the relationships that need to be integrated into a long-term solution for looking after the care and well-being of this child or this tupuna, mokopuna tupuna. So Te Pau Tupua, I thought, provided an interesting and innovative framework, albeit whose genesis has been in Whanganui. I think provides something, a common point of approach that many can draw from. Having a strategic plan, again, is something that is important to kōpuka, that collaborative group that oversees the way in which that strategic plan can be implemented. I thought was excellent. When we think about the river as a system, those in the upper reaches and the mid-reaches and in the lower reaches, having Te Karewao as a group of locally selected, elected representatives who can look at a catchment-based approach to the health and well-being of those very unique parts of the river system. Again, very innovative, provides a different space of conversation, engages the community at a wide point, and absolutely ensures that the iwi are front row centre to shaping the conversation around Tupua Te Awa. Those values and attributes that are really important to keep in mind when you're thinking about decisions going forward. So all these things hinge together. Actually were very difficult to understand at a select committee level when we read the settlement on paper. But when we heard the submission and the intent, and we started to piece together, I guess, a picture of what is trying to be achieved, I think we've only slithered across the top of the intent. There's something much deeper here that is happening. And we will see the fruits of this, I believe, in the next 5 to 10 years, which, if this contribution is what it's intended to be, will shape a very different conversation between Crown and iwi, between local government and iwi, between the rest of the community and iwi, actually between the corporate sector and iwi. Why? Because the custodial care of our taiao is very important. So I commend the work of the negotiators. It's evident, certainly from what I can see, the steward of care by which those guiding hands of those who have gone past is infused in everything that this settlement represents. I'm sure they will be very proud of the negotiators who have carried this settlement forward. The Minister made mention of Briar Gordon. She is exceptional when it comes to putting together the legal, framework in a way that stays as close to the intent of the deed of settlement. And we have had many times where we have ourselves tried to kind of find our way through the conversation with Briar Gordon as a member of PCO, and she has done so many, she has brought the total sum of her experience into every treaty settlement that she passes her hand over. The first being the Ngaitahu settlement 20 years later, right up into this settlement. So you've had the very best Parliamentary Council legal drafter have hands on this legislation. It may not be everything, but it is certainly an advancement in what, again, and I can only comment from a place of knowing, it is an advancement on previous river settlements into a very innovative space. I also want to thank the Minister. You've been overly ambitious in my view in terms of pushing us on time frame, and the Chair of our Select Committee will attest to the fact that we've tried to keep the rate of working through these settlements in a respectful manner, in a conscientious manner, but in a manner that will help iwi like Whanganui get on with it. Get on with it and do what you need to do to make this all that you need it to be. The Chair of our Select Committee commented on a couple of concerns, but can I have on the record again, because it abuts the area that I represent, the interests of the upper catchment. At the end of the day, words can't supplement relationships. But what is very evident about this settlement is that it absolutely relies on relationships. So while iwi like Manya Poto may be concerned, I hope that the undertakings of the settlement will allay some of their greatest concerns, but I know that what will actually make this work in a way that has mutual advantages will be the relationships. And this settlement, ultimately, to be effective, is all about practical, living relationships to give effect to the intent of the legislation, to have a steward of care for our most beautiful river in our country. Nō reira, he te tāku, kia tui ki ngā kōrero I mui tā koutou aroaro I tēnei rangi, kia tātou katoa. Very humbled to be able to support the third reading of this settlement. Tēnā koutou.
Kia ora.